It's good to see you all. Welcome to Tea Time with S.A. Crow. If you're new here, I am a romance author and a urban fantasy author, and yeah, we have fun here. So
You are really low.
really low. Okay, let's try that. Hopefully that's a little better. I'm still getting used to OBS.
That's better.
So Jen says that's better. She's my little helper there. If you're unsure about what's around me, our latest cookbook, Raven's Cookbook Volume 2, supports Meals on Wheels America. So all the sales of that, all that proceeds goes to Meals on Wheels America. So check out Raven's Cookbook 2. Links are down below. I am trying out a tea from my Sips subscription, Sips by, that I got. And this one is Breakfast in Paris by Stash Tea. And it is a blended black tea, lavender, bergamot, and vanilla extract. High caffeine. Black tea, our aromatic lavender and bright bergamot will have you daydreaming of sitting outside on a sunny Paris cafe, Parisian cafe. So it is very good. I added some creamer to it, which makes it a little bit more like a Paris fog. If you've ever had a British fog, which is Earl Grey with vanilla and cream. So a Paris fog is essentially a similar thing. It has lavender, bergamot, which is in Earl Grey, and you add a little vanilla, you add a little cream, and you have a Paris fog. So I am having a Paris fog on this very kind of dreary, rainy-ish, cloudy day, which sounds awesome. I just can see myself sitting in a Parisian hotel drinking this. So watch. Not with Jen, because Jen cannot leave the country.
I can't even leave the county.
We really don't want her leaving Texas. She would get into a lot of trouble. But we love her. She's been banned from Buckingham Palace. So, you know. The other thing I wanted to talk about is my reading journal is available, and I have a copy to show. I also have astrology seasons, which I will be getting a copy of soon. They are both on sale for Cyber Monday, so they are on sale right now. Also, all of my planners are on sale on my Buy Me a Coffee. Links to that are down below. So on this, you have my reading journal. You have a space to put your name on the front cover. And then inside, you have your, I think I skipped a page. Inside you have your reading goal. And then you have the start of your TBR, to be read list. And there's several pages for that, because I know my TBR is huge. Then you have a reading log for the first month. And your weekly reading journal. So it has where you can put the date and what you've read and what you're thinking about. And there's one for each 4 weeks. And then it starts with another reading log. And then we end with notes. So you can put some notes in the back about your reading year. So check this out. They are on sale on Amazon. I'm so proud of them. My planners, I have the Ultimate Writer Planner, which helps you keep your business straight for the year. Because if you are a writer, you are an entrepreneur. That's just the way it is. It means you're going to wear multiple hats. You're going to be in charge of multiple things. So having a planner that you can keep track of those things is really awesome. I added a new section to that to keep track of your alpha, your beta, your arc reads, anything like that, so you can keep track of those as well. So that's a new addition to the Ultimate Writer Journal. We also have the Pagan Author Journal, which has, a little magic thrown in. And we also have a tarot journal and planner. And yeah, so there's also the Q1 stickers on there. All sorts of other things, pages, if you just want a page to keep track of something, there's a few pages on there. So check that out, buymeacoffee.com/SACrow, and become a member, and you can get discounts and free stuff. So that's my version of Patreon. And I'm looking at trying to get that more active, because it took some downtime along with other things. Oh my goodness, this is really good tea. I'm gonna have to buy some of this. It is beautiful. Check out Sips By. It is a great subscription box.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. This was a gift. It was a lovely gift, but yeah. Stash's Breakfast in Paris. Beautiful. So, the other thing I wanted to chat about is that this week I'm doing a blog post on the hidden signs of burnout and why we choose to ignore them. Because I was in burnout. I didn't know it. I described it as I was feeling overwhelmed. I didn't want to admit to burnout. So I'm really intrigued by the reasons why we in the West, I'm not sure about anywhere else, but in the West, why we choose to ignore these signs and just keep going. So one of them is the culture of overwork. The Western culture, and especially in America, is built on the puritanical view that work equals godliness. That if you're not productive, you're sinning in some way. We are seen to see laziness, sloth, all sorts of things as a sin. When you really need some downtime, we don't go on vacation like other countries. We don't have vacation time like they do. We're not given as much time off for mental health or for big events in our lives. Like, for instance, if you have a child, you're only allowed so long for maternity leave. Where in other countries, the husband has some time off for maternity leave so he can help, and the wife is also off. So they get to spend some of that crucial time with their baby and getting some rest and not having to worry about work. But we do have a very culturally based idea of you need to overwork, you need to hustle. And especially now with the economy the way it is, people are like, I have to work. I have to have like 1 or 2 jobs. So it is really hard. The stigma surrounding mental health, there's still a stigma. We're working against that, and we're doing better and better. Mental health is now a conversation that people have, which is awesome. Just checking something. Okay. So that's really cool that we are talking about mental health and that it's becoming more and more prevalent, and things like that. So that's awesome. But we still have a bit of a stigma about it. Fear of consequences if we don't work on things. Like, for instance, I had to let go that I was not going to publish my third book this year in my Fire series. And that was hard, letting go of that and going, it's just not going to happen. But then I completely forgot that I published 2 books, workbooks, and I published 3 calendars, and I published a cookbook that I edited. And those are big things. And yeah, I would normally get those things, well, some of those things done and still get a book out. It just wasn't going to happen this year with my surgery. And so I had to let that go. But there was a fear of like, oh no, I have readers that are expecting the third book and the third book's not out yet. And I had already started the launch process. And so yeah, I had a lot of that. Superhero syndrome, harboring the belief that you're invincible and indispensable and that what will they do without you? Oh, I will fully point myself out. I was worried about my roommates. I was worried about Jen. With me being down, I was like, that was one thing that was overwhelming me. And believing that burnout doesn't happen to you. So I will have a lot more on this Wednesday on my blog. So if you haven't checked out authoressaycrow.com, my blog is there, and I will have a whole lot more about the hidden signs of burnout, more about these reasons why we don't recognize them or don't want to, and some personal anecdotes and things and some stuff for you to save. So check that out this week. I'm also trying to get other blogs and things written, so we're getting there. I've got a script in the works for Bark Adventures. If you haven't checked out Bark Adventures, that is Jen and I's recording of our journey from residential life to van life with our puppies, hence Bark Adventures. One right now has a allergy that's happening on her skin, and so she's itched herself a bald spot. So she is now on some Benadryl to kind of mitigate that, and we have changed her food and things like that. So, and what additives we are adding. So she usually has a winter skin issue, fall, winter, but this year seems to be a little bit on the harder side. So, all right. Okay. Now, the moment that so many have come here waiting for is the reading of The Fire Inside. There's a playlist. If you would like to hear me read out the first book, Into the Fire, there's a playlist for Tea Time Into the Fire. If you'd like to hear me read the previous chapters, The Fire Inside, which is book 2, then check that out in the playlist as well. And we are on chapter 20. This is an on chapter. And so they've just found out that one of the people that she interviewed that looks almost identical to her has been murdered and found not far from her business and her home. So yeah, that's a little scary, a little terrifying. And some mail was brought in with pictures. So she's a little concerned, a little scared, understandably so. So are the men that are helping her. So the wind changes coming down from the north and bringing the temperatures to manageable levels as November passes. It has only been a few weeks since we learned about Leela's murder, and I try to put it out of my mind and be in the moment, but the enormity of it threatens to drag me down every day. Closing my eyes and drawing a deep breath, I listen to chittering birds splash in the bouncing fountain on the quiet edge of the Sundance Square. I'm watching people pass by as I wait for Landon on the Bird Cafe's outdoor patio. Tony and Elliot pretend to enjoy their lunch a few tables away, near enough to observe, but not hover. Nate's patrolling with the Fort Worth police officers. The danger has not passed, and believing it had was a lie I've been telling myself. I can't indulge in the fantasies. The only way to regain control of my life is to face my reality and do something about it. My therapist has been helping me understand what I was doing when I blamed Tony, or numbed myself from facing the facts of what happened. Landon comes around the tables, his floppy brown hair dancing in the wind, whipping between the buildings. He looks strong, unlike during the trial. Rising, I hug him and feel new muscle mass under his shirt. His skin is brighter, and he's put on a proper weight for his frame. Rehab was a brilliant choice from the looks of him. You look so healthy. I'm glad we can do this. I needed to get out of the house, I say as we take our seats. I've been glaring at four walls for too long. Oh God, that was rude of me. I'm sorry. I didn't think about you staring at four walls for a while too. No, rehab was good. I had journaling, athletics, grounds to walk, and therapy. They kept me busy. Landon smiles and picks up the menu. Are you liking your new job? I ask, curious about the recent opportunities he's had since therapy. His face falls. I like my job and my apartment. That part of my life is going well. He peers over at the nearby tables. Dodging people who demand to drag me back into the life I lived before is a little harder, he shrugs. I don't deal in the same circles as I did, so it makes it easier to avoid them. Also, most of them haven't heard that I'm back yet. Good. It can be so easy to fall into old habits. A toddler catches my attention as his parents let him wander the bubbling fountain. He squeals as the water shoots across and sprays him, breaking the silence. Something else seems to be bothering you. Will you tell me? I'm here for you, Landon. I place my hand on top of his. You helped me during the trial when you didn't have to. His shoulders sag under an immense weight, and he gazes toward the same little family in the distance. Someone's asking me to do things I don't want to do. I'm afraid if I tell anyone or stop doing what they ask, they're going to hurt a friend of mine. What can I do? Oh, Landon. I search around for everyone to get their attention. Tony nods at me, and I stay seated. It's clear they're hoping Landon will say more. No, I think I can handle it. Thank you for wanting to help. Landon changes the subject. How did your trip to Seattle go? Tell me all about it. I've never been outside of Texas. He looks like a puppy, hoping his owner won't see the mess right in front of them. Even though my heart aches and I scan him for any clues to how he's doing, it's clear he wants to drop it. So I tell him about Seattle, the parks, Tony's friends, and the amazing food. I grin as his face scrunches up in disgust at my description of the gum wall landmark and its history. We both laugh at the idea of what people will do to be part of something touristy. It sounds lovely. Maybe I can visit there someday. He takes a drink from his water glass, eyes focused off in the far-off distance. I glance down and realize the check has come, and that we talk the entire meal. He gets up and places a few bills down to cover more than half his lunch. Thanks for this. He motions to the table. I've got to go back to work. Take care of yourself, Anna. Please. I peek up at him as I put money in the plastic folder. Of course, you too. Call me. I follow him with my eyes as he walks away, his head low and shoulders hunched, his gait slow. When he rounds the corner, I gaze over at Tony. My vision blurs as sadness fills his eyes and something else. It looks a lot like determination, but I can't be sure. We sink into a routine as December gets busy. We forgot Walt's birthday in the wake of Landon's news and the menace of the last letter. The guys try to figure out who this new threat is and if Leela's murder is linked to the letters. They meet every day, going through Sebastian's friends, family, and associates based on the conversations they've had around my kitchen table. Tony and I lose ourselves in our work and crawl exhausted into bed each night, passing out when our heads hit the pillow. Orders are flying in for outfits, most coming in because of the Seattle photo shoot. I sent a thank you package to Mia for all her hard work. Paige and I are so preoccupied we almost miss the shift in the atmosphere as another letter arrives. Malcolm holds the envelope by a corner as Tony slips on gloves, sliding the flap of the envelope open. The contents spill out on the table in a colorful collage. It's full of intimate photos and love notes I gave Sebastian. The sight sends shivers down my spine. Part of me wants to turn and walk away, to bury my head in the sand and scream. I hate that they bear witness to my humiliation, to think I was in love when I wrote those messages, when he was only pretending to be in love with me. Tony takes the pen, moves the images around, searching for any clue among them, and Malcolm eases his fists open and reaches for his phone. So that's the end of chapter 20. We will be reading chapter 21 next Monday, so I hope to see you there. Take care, everyone. Be safe, and I can't wait to see you. I will be doing writing sprints on Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, so 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Figure your time zone out from there. And I can't wait to see you guys. Take care, everybody.